Yeah.
What's going on? Hey guys.
Always gets me hyped. Always gets me hyped. Yeah, nine finger.
morning,
Let's
gentlemen.
go.
How we feeling?
Hey guys. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello.
I'm good.
Good to see your faces.
Excited to be here. Excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining today. Very excited for today's episode. We are going to talk about the new VeVe app that was announced at South by Southwest. Really cool stuff. But first, Kevin, you saw Roundhouse last night. How was that?
Yeah, I watched the remake Roundhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal and
no.
Yeah, sorry. Like Jake Gyllenhaal was great. He was the best thing about that movie. Everything else, unfortunately, just was like, oh no. There were some funny parts that were still kind of like, what the hell is going on here? But for the most part, it was just like, just watch the original. Honestly, it's way better, way more entertaining, way better characters, more interesting people.
The first half of sound.
I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, you should watch Roundhouse.
The original
Roundhouse with Patrick Swayze is just like the best.
What was that movie? The one movie we watched, was it Roadhouse? Is that what that?
Yeah.
Wait, Roadhouse.
Yeah, you were there.
It's the same one. I've seen it. Oh,
we watched it. Yeah,
we did watch it.
Yeah,
Roadhouse.
Yeah,
we were in the theater room. Yeah.
Yeah,
we have a screener of that we have a sealed screener of the VHS tape, and I was like, Spencer, we got to watch that. You're part of your investment.
We did see that. We did watch that.
It's so good.
Yeah. So it's a remake. Anyways, before we get into today's topic, I want to announce that we have a newsletter. Whoa!
Ooh,
big shout out to SnapThink for collaborating with us on this, and also our website. We have a newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter that highlights a lot of topics. We have blogs that happen every 2 weeks. We highlight certain episodes. We have industry updates on the digital and physical space, big physical sales, what's coming to auction. So, and also giveaways. Sometimes we have exclusive giveaways as well. So make sure
we have some fun things coming for people who are subscribed to your newsletter. There's going to be some cool things. So, being on the newsletter for a long time and being an active participant on it is going to give you some benefits. So everybody loves their utility. So if you want the newsletter utility, make sure you keep engaging.
Yep. Go to our website, our new look at that beautiful website. That looks awesome. That looks awesome. You can go to the top right corner, hit newsletter, boom. Type in your email address. There you go. Pow. Yeah. And also make sure to like and subscribe. We don't say that enough.
Already. Pretty please.
Like, subscribe, and hit that alert button. Woo!
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll never know. You gotta hit the buttons. You gotta
hit those buttons. And also,
before we get into it, Sean, I just want to say hi to people in the audience.
Oh yeah,
what's up, Slider?
What's up, man?
What's up, Omar?
Thanks for joining,
Chris. Top of the morning to you. And what's up, Elvis?
Elvis,
what's going on, guys? Good to see you guys as always.
Big congratulations to our giveaway winner, Fro Clover. Congratulations, you are the winner of this collectible, and we're going to be sending this off to you soon. Huge congratulations for this, and also a big shout out to our partners on the giveaway, McFarlane Toys and AFA. Very cool collectible, uncirculated collectible, graded 9.0, very high grade, very cool museum piece. So
if you want to learn about uncirculated collectibles, go check out our blog on our website. Our most recent blog post is all about uncirculated collectibles, so you can learn all about it there.
Definitely, 100%. And also, I just want to take this time to say shout out to VeVe Knight. I heard you're not doing well, that you're in the hospital right now, and I hope you have a swift recovery, brother. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah. So, big shout out to you, and I hope you feel better. So, VeVe,
what's going on, David? What's going on? Listen from the UK,
David.
Nice,
awesome.
Thank you.
Big shout out to our international friends. That's awesome.
But yes, we're going to go through a couple of things. But yeah, feel free to throw some questions in the chat, and we'll try to get to them.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone out there, make sure to in those comments tell us your questions. We're gonna answer them.
Tell us your questions.
Yeah, ask us your questions. There we go. Yeah. Woo! I nailed it first try. Everyone heard.
Everyone heard.
So
everyone did indeed hear. Indeed.
So VeVe announced at South by Southwest, VeVe and Marvel, that they announced their own app.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. The app allows you to download the comics offline so you can enjoy them on your, anytime, whether you're on an airplane, or remote areas, you can now read your comics and enjoy them, which is very, very cool. But something else that really stood out to me about the VeVe Comics app is that now you're able to purchase modern comics instantly.
Yeah.
When they were released in physical format, which hasn't been a thing. I mean, typically for this physical comics, when they're released, I think it's about 30 to 60 days until they're up on Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah. Comicsology, I think it was like 3 months, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so it was a Comicsology,
yeah.
So it takes a lot of time, but now whenever a physical comic is released, the same day it'll be released in digital format, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Super
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
You have a chance
both an open edition and a limited edition.
Exactly. And you can just purchase it to read it if you just want to enjoy and read it, or you could have actual digital ownership of the comic. And they come in different variants, just like on the VeVe app, and it's all tied to the VeVe ecosystem. So you log in with your VeVe account, you purchase the comic, and it's delivered to you where you can enjoy it or you can sell it. Totally up to you, which is really, really cool. It's really cool. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I'm excited about it. And just clarification, I'm pretty sure the first version, the one on the left, I'm pretty sure that is an NFT as well. I think they're both NFTs. The one on the left though is just an open edition. So basically, as many as people want, those will be like, so they probably won't sell out of these. They'll always be available on this website. So like, 2 years from now, if somebody still really wants Fall of the House of X #3, at that point, maybe there's 20,000 editions that have been minted because it's an open edition. But at that point in time, most likely the limited edition NFT will be completely, sold out by that point.
Right.
But I think they're both NFTs. It's just the first one is just an open edition, so there's no cap on the supply.
Gotcha. Kevin, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm still a little confused by this app and the point of it. I get it in some ways. Again, we have more access for people who aren't interested in like maybe the NFT side necessarily or like all of that. But I just don't understand the whole reason of having this be a whole separate thing for VeVe Comics when it could be all a part of the VeVe app, which I think would have been beneficial to them to get more people involved with the app. To me, this kind of takes that away quite a lot, actually. And I'm a little like weird on it, especially since it's still, like you said, you can get the NFT version and get all the variants, and that goes to your VeVe app already. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But at the same time, I'm also excited because this is great for reading comics. I've already downloaded a few of my comics onto the app to read offline. So I have already used it in some ways, but yeah, the whole separate app thing to me is still kind of, I'm not really sure about that just yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And real quick clarification, I might have been wrong on that. So thank you, Gil, for collecting me. Maybe they actually aren't NFTs.
Yeah.
But either way, it's just an open edition. But yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think it is.
Thank you for correcting me on that then. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you'll be able to sell those on the app. Because that way, because the collection is only $999.
Yeah.
So that way, the commons, ultra rares, they all have different variants, which you
got
can.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kevin, I actually I kind of disagree with you a little bit. I kind of like the strategy that they had of putting on a different app because I think what they're really trying to do here is not go after people who are interested in NFTs or like, kind of like the core VeVe collectors. I think they're really trying to go after comic book collectors and comic book readers, like people who actually like enjoy comic content. And I kind of like that it is a separate app, so it doesn't like it almost doesn't distract. Like I think like if you have people coming in and they get into the VeVe app and they're like, oh, there's these collectibles, there's these things, there's stamps, there's like all these different things going on. But if they're there and they only care about comics, I think they'll be a little bit overwhelmed. Whereas if they have their own app that's focused just on comics, I think it makes a lot of sense. And also like long term, they're thinking about graphic novels and like other types of media. And I think having that all in one place, I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think it creates a little bit less confusion for new people who are coming in. And I really think with this app, what they're trying to do is capture that new crowd of people, people who are actually going to the comic book store and, who are actually reading editions as they come out. I really think that's who they're going after. And, some of those people are going to now, go onto this digital platform and read these digitally rather than go to their local comic book store and buy them physically. Or the people who, don't have a local comic book store anywhere near them are going to use this because it's the next best option.
I see what you're saying there. Like, my only caveat to all of that, though, is you could literally put this app within the VeVe app and have it be a whole separate thing within there.
I
Like,
agree.
you could
They could
literally
do
have
that.
this whole program in that app. So that's, again, where I'm like, I don't really understand the full separation of it being like two different places. You can literally have what you're seeing right now within the VeVe app platform.
Right.
So I guess for me, that's where like I'm kind of like, okay, but I get totally what you're saying. Like, bringing in just the comic people, totally, and I think that's why, and I agree with that. That's what this is. That's why you have the open edition comics. That's why you have that, because you are trying to bring in the comic community for this one, to be like, hey, look, guys, we actually care about comics for this one. We want you to enjoy these comics. You know, please read these. That's ultimately what this is. It's a comic reader. You go here to enjoy the comics you get. So I do get it.
Yeah. I anticipate too this website is going to be something that they're going to be continuing to build on over time. They probably have a lot of future plans for this that we don't know about yet. So I'm excited to see what future features they're going to roll out on this app, and what other types of mediums they're going to release, like Spencer mentioned. I think that's really the big key, and what they're thinking about long term is, you know, how much can we get on here, and how can we reach the masses? And I think that's really cool, man. That's something that I really love the most, is that these modern comics that people can now buy and own, who've never had an opportunity to do that because of, you know, potentially where they live. That's the biggest thing. And a lot of these physical comics aren't scarce, but it's fun that they've created scarcity on the digital side. So there's a lot of collectability there for a lot of collectors that can really enjoy these comics and potentially get secret rares and low mints, and it's really cool, really cool.
Yeah, I think it's a really like accessible way to get new people into the ecosystem. Like, I think eventually people are going to go to the VeVe app because that's where they're going to have to sell their comics if they want to eventually sell them. So I think they'll end up there eventually. But I think this is a really good kind of like easy way to kind of like ease them into it. And this is a good point here. We'll get to some other questions and stuff here. But from Gil here, this might be part of the reason. It's like, on this app you use USD versus using gems, so maybe they just didn't want to confuse that as well, because I feel like the whole gem system can be a little bit confusing to newcomers as well. So that's definitely a good point.
I wonder also if this helps avoid the Apple transactions.
Yeah,
I don't know, because the reader, actually, no, that now I think about it, that's actually exactly what it is. Because if the reader, the app, you can't buy on the app, you have to go on the actual desktop version to buy it. So you're not going through the Apple Store anymore.
Got it. That's cool.
That's probably a huge component of that. Now they're taking in a lot more of that income. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Hey. And what's really cool too. Hey, what's up, Bubba Crypto? Uncle Poppy in the house. Special guest. That's awesome. Yeah. There's something else I was going to mention. Oh, I really like the idea that now you can actually collect sets too of series. You know, I mean, that's something they've been doing on the VeVe app. They've been releasing series over time, but now it's like instantaneous. They're going to be, I mean, this is like a database of tens of thousands of comics. Now that they're going to be releasing. And this is something we've talked about for years. You know, we've said everything's going to be released in empty format. And if Marvel is serious about this, they're going to release everything over time. And here we are. I think it's safe to presume now at this point, Marvel is officially all in on VeVe, which is very reassuring for the company.
For sure.
Yeah. They're all in, which is incredibly exciting for the future of this space.
Yeah.
Now that begs the question, what about physical comics now? What does this mean for the future of physical comics? Is this going to be the beginning of the end of physical comics? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't think so. I think there's always going to be demand for physical comics. I mean, I think there's enough people out there that enjoy holding a book in their hands and flipping through it and you know, appreciate having that physical art. I mean, because that's the other thing. It's like the books are art, and I think people appreciate having that in a physical format. So I don't think it's ever going to go away. But I do think this will bring a lot more people into the digital space that previously weren't. You know,
right? Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I look at this the way that for me is the way of film. I grew up shooting on film. I grew up, you know, using film, and then digital came along. and almost wiped it out for a hot second. But now
Right.
you can buy film again. People are shooting on film again. You have all
People
these
have disposable cameras. It's
yeah,
like
exactly. All these analog things are coming back and having kind of a resurgence because ultimately we do still, like what Spencer said, we still do enjoy those tangible things, those things we can touch and have. And I think that will always be true. I think that comic books will always be around in physical format. I don't think they're going to go away. They might get a little bit more niche, a little bit, but like ultimately you have a lot of people who still love reading physical comics and new people who are going to be amazed at flipping through actual pages and stuff. But I think that the digital side just helps that for like, if you're like Sean said earlier, on a plane or somewhere where you don't have your comic book with you, this is just like you being able to have access to that same thing in other formats.
Totally. Yeah. Or if you live in a place where you don't have comic book shops and you can't actually get your hands on the physicals. It's
absolutely. Yeah.
And people can counter and say, well, Spencer, Sean, and Kevin, look at DVDs and Blu-rays and VHS tapes. Those are not wait a minute. Well, it's interesting, right? Because we know that Blu-rays and DVDs are on its way out. We know that that Best Buy announced that they're going to stop selling physical media. But I think it's different. It's different with physical media because we can stream our content and enjoy it on Netflix and Hulu. But I think it's going to, like you said, it's going to come in waves for that format, which we'll dive into in a sec. But going back to comic books, there's still a massive, massive community of people who love physical comic books that will continue to buy physical comic books. This is just another way of collecting. And also, the people who buy digital typically like to buy physical counterparts and match their digitals. Yeah, so it's, if anything, I think it's actually possibly it's going to have a counter effect and create an even higher demand for physical comic books. It's very possible. It's very possible. Yeah. But I will say for like for DVDs and Blu-rays, the one thing, and I'm going off topic a little bit, and I think we should do a video on this, guys, just to focus on this too. But it kills me to see the lack of ownership for physical media, because when you have a streaming platform, if they take something off of that platform, it's gone forever. Like there's an awesome prop show that was on Disney Plus that I loved, and they took it off. I mean, that was their own original show, and they just took it off. I don't know why. I really truly don't understand why they took it off, but they did, and I can't enjoy that show anymore. It kills me.
Yeah.
And that's a topic I want to focus on for another episode. But I think there's going to be with AR technology, I think there's going to be a possibility we're going to be able to be in your house and have like a collection of DVDs that are actually NFTs that you can own, and you can play them and enjoy it. But you actually own that physical item, or not physical item, but you own that NFT of that DVD or Blu-ray, and you can enjoy it and watch it. Maybe you have behind the scenes content, and on top of that, there's collectability aspect where you can resell those DVDs and Blu-rays in digital format, and there's recurring sales. So there's another opportunity for a lot of companies to make money off of media instead of just streaming.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
I know a lot of people now who are starting to buy DVDs and Blu-rays since the streaming stuff. Yeah.
It sucks, man. I mean, look at Willow too. That show Willow that was released on Disney Plus. It's another example. That show was released, was out for about 6 months to a year, and then just disappeared. Now it's gone.
Yep.
You can't stream it anywhere. And Disney owns it, and they aren't showing it anywhere, which just blows my mind. Yeah. It's very bizarre. Yeah.
Just going to a couple of comments here from Jason. Totally agree. Physical will always be around. Physical might add lower physical runs, which then cause more physical damage. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Jason.
Yep.
Yeah.
And does Uncle Poppy have an opinion on it?
on just like physical media?
Just forget.
Or just on everything.
No, Jason's just playing around.
Yeah, I will say, be very careful out there, everybody, because these comics, if we put them on our grading system, or not grading system, ranking system. If we ranked a lot of these comics, they'd be probably the bottom 5%.
Yeah.
So I don't know what as an investor, I don't know what the long-term value of these comics are going to be. I think some will surprise us. Yeah. But again, it's TBD at this point. You just got to do your own research. You got to know what it is you're buying into. If you're just collecting and enjoying the covers, that's fantastic. And of course, enjoying the content within the comic. I hope that people out there are reading these. That's also a big component of course, right? Yeah. The comic book art is fantastic. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Don't forget, some of these have great stories, man. They're worth reading. There's a reason why they exist. They're there to be read. Ultimately.
Exactly. Yeah.
And from Steve, what's up, Steve? How you doing, man? But agreed. I think it might even be even closer than one generation. We'll see.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think people had some questions that I wanted to.
Yeah, let's answer some questions.
Let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, here's a question. Will the weekly drops on VeVe Comics site every Wednesday at the same time? Do you know if they plan to advertise on X and other platforms ahead of the drop? It's a good question. It's more of a question probably for the team. I don't know. Yeah, I mean they drop what at like midnight, right?
Yeah. Which is great. So, I'm happy they're doing that. Real quick, Spencer. I'm happy they're doing that because it helps for the international markets. I know that our friends over in New Zealand and Australia specifically have been having to get up at 4 a.m. to go for these drops. Yeah. And I know some people are complaining, like, I have to go at midnight now or 3 a.m. to get these people in Australia and New Zealand have been having to do that for the past 3 years.
2.5 years. Yeah, 3
years.
Yeah,
so I'm happy that now they're having an opportunity not to they can do it during the day now. I presume. I don't know the exact time that would be, but I think it's much more reasonable for them, which is cool.
Plus, we also have the comic shops here in the U.S., so it's like we actually can go out and buy these physically if we want to. Whereas people on other sides of the world, not so easy for them. So
yeah, definitely.
But I'm sure they'll be advertising stuff in the future on X. I'd be kind of surprised if they were.
I think so too. And there'll be some. There will be modern comics in the near future that probably haven't been released yet that could be incredibly valuable or important. For very, very similar. Kind of what happened to, like, you look at Ultimate Fallout number 4 when that was first released. No one really cared very much. No one really cared very much. That comic, you can get it for $10, $20. I mean, very, very cheap. I mean, I've heard multiple stories from collectors. Our friend Brian, big shout to Brian. He was telling me that when Miles Morales came out, he speculated that it's going to be a very big comic. So he would drive around the coast of California and go to stop by comic shops and pick up UF4. He had at one time multiple, like 20, 30 copies of that comic, but he ended up flipping most of them. But now, I mean, the floor for that comic is probably around, I don't know, $200, $300 probably, I would presume, raw at least. I mean, the 9/8's around probably $1,200 now, $1,000. So, yeah. And they're modern comics, so typically they're in very good shape.
There's a lot of 9/8s.
A lot of 9/8s. Yeah, that market cap is one of the highest by far.
Yeah,
by far.
But people love that book. People love Miles, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So definitely keep your eyes and ears out for first appearances of characters that are introduced. Yeah, that's really important. Very, very important. It was cool that they dropped Superior Spider-Man number 1. I was curious if they were going to do that on the VeVe app, but they decided to do it. Let's see here, Spider-Man. Yeah, there it is.
Oh.
So this is the first Marvel VeVe comic that was released. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool that they released this in digital format.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Cool. From Chris Severs here, and more of a suggestion. So if anybody from VeVe is listening, I think this is a cool idea. Break out comics by age. I think that'd be a cool way to organize things, and it can help people, navigate the site a little bit better. So, good suggestion, Chris.
I like that.
Great suggestion.
Definitely like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that.
Let's see. They applied localization to the new app yet? This I don't know about, but I hope they do. This is so important to be able to read your comics in different languages. I mean, at the very least, I think they could probably get the actual website localized. I think we're still a little far off to actually having the comics themselves localized. But I definitely see that being the future, where you're going to be able to, when you buy this, you can choose the language that it's in, and you want to choose the Spanish variant, or you want to choose the Japanese variant, or whatever.
That's super possible.
Yeah.
This website, like we mentioned, it's a work in progress. I mean, I know that even right off the bat, there's been some issues with deliveries. I mean, I still have probably 10 comics that haven't been delivered yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I know a lot of people out there are probably facing the same thing right now, but it's kinks that are gonna be worked out. I mean, anybody who was around for the very first, some of the first drops on the VeVe app were insane. They were. You remember the DeLorean drop?
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
That was insane.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah. It's only gonna get better over time. There are gonna be hiccups along the way, but this is revolutionary technology that they're releasing. So it's only gonna get better over time.
Yep. What up, Fro?
Hey!
What's going on?
Yo,
Here's your prize.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Sean's got his grubby hands on it. You might want to wipe it down.
I'll wipe it down. I'll give it a good wipe down before I send it off. Yeah.
I love this though. I mean, this goes back to what we were talking about before, but yeah, this VeVe comic app has actually gotten Fro to go to his comic shop more. So
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's
There
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. This is exactly what we've been talking about. And I love that you said that. Thank you for saying that, because that's it's very reassuring to things that we believe in, but also a lot of, especially the local comic shops need to hear this kind of stuff. Because I'm sure it's a kind of a dagger in the heart right now hearing about this without having all the information or understanding it fully. But we do think it's going to complement each other. They're going to complement each other over time.
Yeah,
totally. And then one more here from David. So yeah, I actually kind of like that they haven't done this. Going back to what we were saying before, like I think this app is really focused on new users and people who haven't been exposed to VeVe before, and people who really care about actually reading the comics and maybe not as much about the collecting side of things. And I think that if they included, and I know people want to get on these drops because they're very low supply, and you want to get a sub 40 secret rare or whatever it is. But I think this would confuse new people coming into the site. It's like I really do think if people came on, they're like, oh, I gotta pledge MCP points. What are MCP points? I think it would really distract from what they're trying to accomplish here. So yeah, that's why I think it probably makes sense why they're not doing it. But maybe we'll see a point in the future where they feel like they've gotten a critical mass of users on the app, and they feel like they've achieved their goals in terms of spreading this to a new audience. Maybe then they'd implement something like this. But yeah.
I actually did tweet out a poll yesterday that asked, would you like to use your MCP points for priority bidding on the modern comics released on VeVe Comics? And out of 240 people so far, 66% said no. 66%.
Gotcha. So they'd rather save them for more like high-end comics, releases of older comics, or collectibles. That's interesting. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So I think if the demand changes, like you said, Spencer, we could see that happen.
Yeah. Just
creates more opportunity. I mean, really, it's just by implementing that system into this doesn't mean you have to go for it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But it is interesting because 30% or so, or something, I don't know the exact percentage, but a certain percentage is allocated towards the wait list. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that'll impact the purchases over time, but that's still TBD at this point.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Awesome.
Let me see. We got a couple other questions here. Let's see. Yeah, we were talking about this before, Slider. Definitely agree. Yeah, ability to collect full runs.
Right.
Very cool for collectors. Very cool for collectors. Yeah.
Definitely.
So the question here is, so when do we think the first digital only comic is going to be dropped by VeVe that doesn't have a physical counterpart?
I do expect that to happen.
I definitely expect this to happen.
We've talked about that on the podcast for a couple of years too. There's going to be opportunities to own. I think there's probably going to be maybe a hyper focused series for that by Marvel, just to test and see what people think. But that's an interesting thought, right? Like you only can get this in digital format. You can't buy a physical copy. So how will physical collectors react to that? Will they want to go and buy it if the demand is there? I think that's a very interesting question. Yeah. There will be pushback for sure. Physical collectors, no question. But it's interesting. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. What's up, Grandison?
Grandison.
I do think manga eventually will end up on the same platform. I think we'll see all forms of reading media. I think comics, graphic novels, manga. I think VeVe, they recognize the market on like anime and manga, and I think they see how much demand there is for that. So I think it would be a no-brainer for them to have this on there. So hopefully soon.
Yeah, as long as these publishers are interested in getting involved in this, I definitely foresee VeVe being the hub for all of this content.
Yeah.
But it really comes down to whether or not they're interested, which I'd presume they are. I'd be shocked to find out that other publishers are not interested to get involved in this.
Yeah,
you know, I personally want to see like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first issue, released in digital format, and they better have. It's interesting because everyone out there, if you don't know, the difference between the first and second print literally is one small note is inside. There's an advertisement for a comic called The Gobbledygook, which was created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And that's how you differentiate the first print and second print. So I really, really hope that they know that, and that whenever they release that in digital format,
and they release multiple prints of it, and that'd be really cool. Yeah,
they have to include that in there to make that feel like an actual first print. But very cool. Yeah, that'd be very cool to see it. I'm super excited the idea of seeing manga and other mediums released in digital format. And I think whether it's on VeVe, I presume it's on VeVe because they're leading the way in all this. The partners that they have and they continue to build. I know there's a lot of partnerships they probably haven't announced yet. So this could be the hub for comics and pretty much all mediums in digital format. Super possible. Yeah. I think that announcement, if it does ever happen, especially soon, I think that'll turn a lot of heads.
Yeah,
turn a lot of heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick shout out, Biggest Bro. Thank you. We appreciate you. What up, My Collectibles?
My Collectibles.
What's going on, my guy?
Thanks for joining.
Janison, I agree. I would love to see the Invincible comic on there. That'd be a really cool one.
Invincible is amazing. Yeah. That's a comic I slept on for a while. I still kind of eyeing it a little bit, but man, that first issue as a 9.8 sells for thousands.
Nice.
Yeah. I haven't checked the prices recently, but I know it's sold as high as I think $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Wow.
As 9.8. Yeah. It's a very valuable first print. Yeah. The first issue of Invincible. And that series especially has really changed heads. So
do you know who has the rights to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
It's so funny. I'm glad that you asked that, because I was actually asking some people about that yesterday. I literally was trying to figure this out because I know Image still produces comics for Turtles.
Yeah.
But in regards to the very first Turtle comic, that was under it was under their own publishing company, their independent publishing company. Okay. But we as we all know now that Turtles were acquired by Nickelodeon or Viacom. But in terms of comics, I don't know.
I mean, if it's owned by Viacom and Nickelodeon, that's probably who owns the rights to it. And then, I guess probably Image right now has the probably exclusive rights to actually release the comics. But it probably all comes back to Nickelodeon.
And I'm sure we're going to see Turtles on the VeVe app in the near future. I mean, if y'all don't know, I mean, who had the licensing rights to the Ninja Turtles throughout the 90s, or the co-licensing rights, was 4Kids Entertainment, which was a company that was run by Alfred Kahn.
Yep.
So I'm sure that
there's
that discussion. There's definitely connections there. Yeah. So it's definitely I would say a safe presumption that it's very possible we'll see digital collectibles for the Turtles and also the comics on the VeVe app in the future. It's very, very, very possible. If I were to put a wager on it, I'd say it's probably going to happen, but it's a matter of when, right? At this point.
Yep. And we have already seen Turtles NFTs. Those already exist. On the Wax blockchain. Funko released. The basically the first ever Funko NFTs that were released were Turtles. So you got one up there behind you? I got mine up here somewhere.
It's here somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, so they released the digital of the Grail. Yeah, there's only 999 of these in digital format, and you're able to acquire a physical that also limited to 999, which is labeled on the front. Very cool.
So just a quick update on that. IDW Publishing is the one that has the comic license for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, including
IDW.
Yeah, including reprints of the originals and classics.
Okay, so I think I said Image earlier. I don't
Yeah.
know. That was right.
No,
Yeah.
it totally is
It's not
IDW.
Image.
Yeah,
It's IDW.
we went to the
Sorry,
IDW
yeah.
booth to get
That's right.
get
Yeah.
his signature. Yeah.
IDW. IDW. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
sorry.
Image.
Yeah.
Not Image. Thank you for
No.
clarifying that, Kev.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Image. That's McFarlane, right?
Yeah. I was about to say, I was like,
yeah.
huh.
Yeah.
That's why I looked it up. I was like,
yeah. Oopsies.
They both start with an I.
Yeah.
Sean, do you know anything about this comic? Web of Spider-Man 1? I really know very little about it, so
I don't unfortunately. A lot of the really modern new ones. I'm presuming he's talking about one of the modern new comics that have dropped. No, I'm kind of learning a lot about these new comics that are being released. There's so many of them that are released recently. Yeah, because we've been heavily focused on the Grails and the Keys over the past 50 years, but the modern comics is that we haven't really dived deeper into, especially the recently released ones. Yeah, but now we definitely need to.
yeah,
a lot of reading to do, boys.
Dude, Jason, what a flip!
Secret Rare Resurrection of Magneto that I paid $7.95. Just bought the Floor Superman collectible. Whoa,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
awesome. Okay, so that's okay. So here's actually, I'm glad, Jason. I'm so happy you brought that up. So this is something that I've heard from the community as well. I've seen tweets about it that there's a bunch of degenerates now just chasing the secret rare. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay.
Yeah.
If you know anything about the sports card market, that's literally the foundation of the sports card market. They make an announcement about a really valuable one-of-one card, and then everyone goes after it because it's worth $100,000, $200,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's literally the foundation of the physical card market, even digital probably too. But there's nothing wrong with that, and it's kind of fun. You're chasing for the SR, and we're seeing that a lot with digital collectibles as well. But being able to buy something like that and flip it, and then someone who buys it can enjoy it too. But now you have the opportunity to go and repurpose those gems to things that you wanted to collect, that you wanted to buy. And that's so cool that you're able to, for $7.95, you were able to land an SR, sell it, and then you flipped it for a Superman collectible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Congratulations about crypto. That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think that's the fun thing about the digital collectibles too, is that there is that chase aspect, chasing for that rare collectible. And that was really fun. We saw that with the Matt Gondek drop. That was really fun. That was super fun. These really scarce collectibles. Yeah, I think it's really cool. Really, really cool. Any other questions, Spencer?
Let's see. What up, Jimbo?
Hey,
what's going on? Let's see. So I think we're going to do a whole separate video on this at some point.
Oh yeah,
but
probably.
This is a whole different discussion, Omar.
I'm glad that you brought that up, Omar, because we'll briefly touch it today, but we actually are going to have a hyper-focused video focusing entirely on this topic. Do low mints matter anymore? And we'll talk about that in the next video. As we all know that there's only 999 mints for each modern comic dropped. And I believe, to my knowledge, the first public mint is 11. Is mint number 11. But does that hurt the other comics that are dropped on VeVe? We're going to definitely dive deeper into that and our belief and ideas for the future of where this is all going. So definitely keep an eye and ear out for that video. It's going to be dropping probably next week.
Nice.
Yep. All right, guys.
Oh, fun video.
Yeah.
Exciting times. I appreciate you all for joining. Thank you so much. And remember, sign up for that newsletter.
Yes.
Sign up for that newsletter, guys. It's really cool.
I got it.
There it is. Yay. Yeah, sign up for the newsletter.
Next one comes out next Thursday.
Yeah.
Next Thursday. So you have time to get involved in it. Very cool industry updates. We have bi-weekly blogs. The next blog that we actually are going to release was written by Sergio Collects. So big shout out to Sergio for writing. Yeah, very cool topic, which actually focuses on VeVe Comics.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely get involved in that. And also make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Yeah, we're closing in on 10,000. I really want to get that 10,000.
Get over that. Yeah.
Get all the buttons. Give it.
Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
See you, Uncle Pappy.